Hello and welcome to Captivate and Convert, the masterclass, the 3 foundations to captivate your audience, create raving fans, and make more sales. So I'm super excited to be bringing you this training today because I know that you've completed the challenge and I really want to give you the next steps. The challenge was really a lot of foundational work and the stuff that actually we need to know in order to stand out online, but there's so much more. There's so much backstory and there's so much more after that. So I want to cover that in this masterclass today. And, in the next 45 to 60 minutes, I want to talk to you about how I was able to generate over $1.5 million in sales and how you can use these same strategies in your business. So let's dive right in. So, when people ask me, how did I do it? There's a lot of different factors, but only a few that stood out and actually moved the needle forward for me and have continued to year after year as my business has, grown exponentially every single year. And you'll see the foundation is the method I call upscale. And I'm sharing the 3 major components of that today. So I want to just make sure that you are in the right place. I don't want to waste your time. So if you are here, you are somebody who has reached a plateau in their business or experiences a cycle of feast and famine. So maybe you're making a little bit of money, but maybe then the next month you make 0, or you have an influx of sales and then the next month you're hustling for clients. You're someone who maybe just doesn't know the actual steps to take in your business and when, and you want to know the things that you actually need to focus on for big results. So this is one of the common things that I see with entrepreneurs and coaches today is that, there's so many moving parts, there's so many pieces of the puzzle, and we just don't know the right order, or we just don't know which ones to focus on. So I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 things that you absolutely need to be focusing on today to make the most out of the strategies here. So also, if you want to increase your impact and create a tribe of people hungry to buy from you, which ultimately increases your bank account, of course, and also the strategies I'm sharing are going to not only talk about how you can have someone buy from you once, but how to have repeat customers, how to have those like raving fans that just want to buy every single thing that you put out there. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but this is really important because it's so much easier to, have a client and increase the lifetime value of that customer where they're not just paying you one time, but they may be paying you 3 or 4 or 5 times rather than having to go out and acquire new customers month after month. You're also in the right place if you want more leverage, more clients, and more ease in your business so that you can experience more time freedom, money freedom, and just plain old freedom to do whatever you want. So if that is you, then you're in the right place, and I'm going to show you not only how to leverage, but sustain these results. All right, so what to expect today? So I'll go for about 35 to 45 minutes of straight content, no fluff. And then I'll be sharing with you next steps and how you can really take what you've learned in the challenge and what you've learned in the masterclass to really skyrocket your success and make it happen really, really fast. I'm also going to be sharing with you how many of my students have just exploded their business, doubled their client base, doubled their list in a short period of time, and the exact techniques that they used to do that. So here's what we're going to cover today. We'll start off with me sharing with you the very first thing that you need to do to make any marketing program or plan work. So skipping out on this one thing caused my first 18 months of business to be very slow and unprofitable. And I really want to, just let you know that this is the absolute most important thing, that without this, nothing else is going to work. And so if you're somebody that you feel like, wow, I've been trying a lot of things, I've done it all, I'm doing everything the gurus say to do and the experts say to do, and it's just not working, I guarantee you it's because you're missing this very first thing, and I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. I'm also going to pull back the curtain on exactly what I did, the exact steps I took to go from making 0 in my first coaching year to generating over $1.5 million in sales in the last 3 years. Then we're really going to dig into finding out the 3 areas of your business that should get the most attention, energy, and focus. And I guarantee that if you focus on these 3 things, everything else in your business will flow with ease. This is the part that took me 3 years and over 6 figures in investments to figure out. So I'm sharing that with you today for free. And then finally, the simple process to follow that generates leads and clients and how you can put this to work in your business right now, today, okay? And then, like I said, finally, I will tell you how to get more support on your next steps. So really quickly, I'm going to dive into who I am and why you should listen to me. So I am a single mama to my handsome and healthy and smart, super, super smart 6-year-old boy, Dante. He is my life. He's amazing. And, everything that I do in my business is for him. And he's really the reason why I started my business. And he's really the reason why I continue to have more and more success, because I want an amazing future for him. I'm a visibility strategist. I help people get really noticed online, get comfortable with being online, get confident with who they are so that they can attract the clients that they want. I've worked with thousands of entrepreneurs to help them start and grow their online businesses. I've spoken alongside of people like Gary Vee, Caleb Maddox, Derek Halpern, and much more. I also, like I mentioned, went from making $35,000 a year in corporate, and also in my first year of my first profitable year, to making over $1.5 million in sales. So I want to share with you those shifts that you need to make those increases happen really, really fast. And just for fun, I play poker and I also dabble in some photography. So, I'm also able to really just enjoy my life. And that is why I'm so passionate about what I'm going to be sharing with you today, because it's not only about hustle. It's not only about struggle. It really is about understanding who you are, the foundations, what your strengths are, and how to take that and create the business that you want and create the lifestyle that you desire and create the freedom that you desire. So some of my huge shifts, I increased my income by 1,400% in 1 year. Insane, right? I made $35,000 my first profitable year of coaching. I made $535,000 the next. I'm sharing with you in just a second how I was able to do that. Erica, one of my clients, had her best month in business in 6 months. For 6 months, she had plateaued. She was kind of just going through the motions, and it really she wasn't experiencing growth. By using the techniques I'm sharing with you today, she was able to close $7,000 in cash in a single week and have her best month ever in 6 months. Lisa, one of my other star students, signed 5 new coaching clients in an 8-week period. Amazing. Aditi was able to have 2 over $10,000 launches and her first 5-figure month. So before I discovered the magic of what I'm sharing with you today, I was doing all the wrong things. I was desperate for clients, unclear of my message and how to serve people. Actually, I didn't even have a work with me page on my website, right? So this is insane. And I can't even tell you how many entrepreneurs I work with that are the same way. They don't have the work with me page. They're not really clear on how people can work with them. And it's crazy, right? We expect people to pay us and we expect to make money, but we're not actually putting ourselves out there. So I thought I was doing everything right, but the results were pretty meager. I kept looking at my to-do list a mile long and wondering why I was working so hard and didn't seem to be going anywhere. I started thinking that there was something wrong with me because I saw other people doing it and having great success. So I started to wonder what they had that I haven't figured out yet. The mistake I kept making was I was focusing on the wrong things. So this is what I was saying earlier. What didn't make any sense was that I had the skills. I knew marketing and social media like the back of my hand. I worked for some of the very large companies doing the same things. Huge doctor's offices, massive casinos, doing social media. Like I knew it all, right? So I had to dive in and really figure it out. I had to figure out what was going on. And this is exactly what I'm going to be talking about in just a moment. So I knew that something had to change. I was down to my last dollar. It was do or die time for me. And if you're feeling that way, you're going to love the presentation today. So, these wins that I'm sharing with you here, none of it would be possible without the steps that I'm going to share with you today. Okay, so the good news is that you likely already have a lot of the pieces. They're just in the wrong order, or you may just be focusing on the wrong things. So that is the good news. Now we just have to kind of put it together, put the pieces together, and make it happen. So I want you to stay with me to the end. So I'm giving you a little bit of an incentive. I'm going to be sharing with you a free downloadable cheat sheet for running your own successful, epic, and engage social media challenge. This is one of the tools that has really increased my credibility, my authority, my confidence, my client base, my bank account. So I'm going to be sharing that with you if you hang out with me until the end. So In the time that we have together, I'm going to give you everything I've got. For some of you, this will be exactly what you're looking for, and you'll be able to hit the ground running with what you learn here. But for some of you, we'll want to go deeper. So I'll show you exactly how you can take that to the next level if you decide you want my help implementing all of the things I'm sharing today. So what is that first thing? That very first thing that you need to do to make any marketing program or plan work? I'm going to give you a couple seconds to think about it. You might already know the answer if you've been paying attention. But this was really the hugest shift for me, and it will be for you too. The key thing that changed everything, going from 0 to 35, going from 35 to 535, creating over $7 million or $1 million in revenue. I wish it was 7 million. I'll be there this year. So the first shift you have to make is mindset. If you skip out on this part, and if you just think I can do a couple things here and there, you're going to struggle. You might experience a little bit of success, but if you're not fully ingrained in the mindset and in what you have to do and having a daily practice and really focusing in not only in what you have to do, but who you have to be, it's really going to be a struggle for you, right? So again, the best part was that I already had the skills, and you probably do too. I was just missing this piece of the puzzle. So when people ask me, how did you do it so fast? Because that's the other thing, this can happen really, really fast. I attribute everything to the foundational mindset work that I had to do. What I finally realized was that I could have all the skills in the world. I could take all the classes, but if my mind and my focus were in the wrong place, I would never be successful. So the key shift that happened for me was when I experienced my first 5-figure month. The other amazing thing that happened was that I didn't expect was for my business to explode over the next few months and generate $100,000 in 3 months when I had previously only been making about $5,000 a month. So this was huge, and I couldn't believe how simple it was. When I finally stopped focusing on the tactics and started focusing on the mindset, those huge shifts followed. So the reason I always talk about this first is because you can have the best marketing program in the world, but without the right mindset, it doesn't work. And I want you to hear me when I tell you this. So many of you already know this because you've tried, you've taken the courses, and nothing has worked, or it hasn't worked for a long period of time. So we have people in our Captivate program who have focused only on this part and their daily declarations and have had massive, massive shifts in just a few short weeks. In fact, one of my clients, Rita, had her first 6K month ever in business within the first month of the program because she was solely focused on her declarations, her daily mindset work, and it allowed her to make that shift fast. So, okay, so you have heard my story. You've heard, the transition and how quick things were actually able to change. And with working with over thousands of female entrepreneurs to start and grow their business online over the last 2 years, I just have so much I want to share with you. And, really just being able to generate this kind of revenue while being a single mom, I noticed that so many entrepreneurs were floundering because they didn't know what to do or when to do it. So for any entrepreneur that is overwhelmed with the process of growing their online business, but most importantly, what to do when, this simple process to follow that generates leads and clients, and how you can put this to work starting today. So there are 3 keys to get started that I would like to share with you. The 3 keys are clarity, exposure, and monetization. So we're going to begin with clarity, which is the one that most entrepreneurs skip, including me. When I first started, I really didn't think that I had to do this. I thought that, I just had to take my skills and kind of go with it. I thought that I knew it all, and I could just go out there. I could skip the basics. I could skip the foundation, skip the surveys and all that stuff. And this lack of clarity really cost me a lot in my business. And I guarantee that it's probably costing you a lot in your business as well. So having confidence and clarity in your strengths, who you serve and how you serve them is huge. Okay, so I'm going to start with there's a couple things here that I just want to go over really quickly when it comes to clarity, because, clarity isn't just about one thing or the other. It's having complete clarity and expectation on every part, right? So number one is your strengths. You've got to know what you're good at, because if you don't, you're going to end up bogging yourself down and wasting a lot of time on things that you don't need to be doing. So knowing what your strengths are, knowing what comes easy to you. This seems to be a lot harder for female entrepreneurs because we feel like, wow, this thing is so easy. How can I charge for it? But the reality is that thing that is so easy is the thing that you need to be doing and the thing that you need to be charging for. What are your strengths? What are you good at? This is also going to help eliminate a lot of the shiny object syndrome, because if somebody's saying, hey, you should try this method or you should do this strategy, but you know that that doesn't serve your strengths, then you know not to waste your time on that and really focus in on the things that you're actually good at. The next thing you need clarity on is purpose. You need to know what you're really here for. You need to know why you're doing this. Why are you choosing to be an entrepreneur? Because this is not an easy road, right? This takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of passion. So what is the purpose of you doing this as opposed to getting a job and getting a paycheck and having security and having insurance, and knowing that you're going to get a paycheck every week? So knowing and understanding the purpose and the bigger picture is huge. And once you have clarity around this is also going to eliminate a lot of the back and forth, a lot of the doubt. And when you're coming up against struggles, or you're not feeling that great about some of the things you're doing, or you feel like, man, I'm just going to quit. That purpose and having clarity in that purpose is going to get you back on that horse. It's going to get you going again. And it's going to be the thing that really fuels you to keep going. Next, you need clarity on what you do, how you do it, and who you do it for. Most people that I talk to, or I get on a discovery call with, or I talk to in my group, have no idea how to articulate this. They have no idea how to say, if someone were to pay you, what is the result? What is the benefit? What are we actually getting? So this is super freaking important, because if you are not sure, if you don't have clarity on what you do, how you do it, and who you do it for, everybody else is going to feel the same. Everything else is going to be foggy. People are going to be unclear, and they're not going to hire you. Okay. So this is super important to know what you do, how you do it, and who you do it for. And one of the things I didn't mention here is how to actually articulate that, how to talk about that in a way that your ideal clients actually understand it and want it. Next, you want clarity on your success. What does success look like for you? We're sold these $1 million, $10 million dreams, but maybe that's not for you. Maybe you just want to be able to quit your job and stay at home with your kids. Maybe you just want to make enough money so that you can travel around the world. Maybe you want to retire your husband. So defining what success looks like on your terms is super important. Again, this is another thing that is going to eliminate a lot of the shiny object syndrome, because someone else's success is not yours. And I wholeheartedly believe in that. I don't think that everyone's success is $1 million or 6 figures or multiple 6 figures or traveling around the world. Define what that success looks like on your terms. And so that way you can create a plan and a strategy to actually get that. And finally, you need clarity on how you're going to profit. You need to make sure that that thing that you're doing, the business you're creating, people actually want, people are actually willing to pay for, and that you're actually able to sell it. This is another thing that a lot of people completely skip. We want to create something new and amazing. And, the reality is, without knowing, do your potential clients pay for things like this? Are they willing to pay for things like this? Can they afford your services if you're creating a service for a specific person? This is all really important things to know, and really a lot of things that people skip. So here's the reality. A lot of you right now are leaving money on the table. So I'm going to be sharing with you really quickly. I just want to give you something that you can do right now to call in a potential client in the next 2 days. So I hope that you have your pen and paper ready because I want you to go through your contacts, your past clients, people you have had conversations with, someone maybe you recently met in person, or even someone who you spoke to before who didn't become a client or a customer. These are people, or this is what I call your low-hanging fruit, okay? So make a whole list of those people. And what I want you to do is I want you to send them a very simple email that's less than 20 words. And here is what you're going to say. Hey, Jill, or whatever the name is, I was just thinking about you. Are you still struggling with X? X is the thing that you help people with. So if you help people with weight loss, your email would sound something like this. Hey, Jill, I was just thinking about you. Are you still struggling to lose weight? That is it. Super simple. All it does is open the door for a conversation. We're not being salesy. We're not being sleazy. We're not pushing our products on anyone. We're just opening that door for a conversation. And it's a question. So when you ask someone a question, that elicits a response. It elicits somebody actually giving you an answer. So do this today and see what happens. I'd love to hear what happens with you guys. So let's get rocking and rolling and move on to our second key, which is exposure. So this is just another fancy word for visibility. So if visibility is a word that you're used to hearing, let's go with that. I call it exposure in a broader sense, in a bigger sense, because visibility isn't just about being seen, it's about being known. It's about getting out there despite being scared, nervous, or introverted. It's about letting people know what you do through social media, through story, through content, and through connections. I want to give you 3 specific things you can do right now to get yourself out there more so that people know about you. Okay, so number 1 is social influence system, what I call the social influence system, that is also covered in our program Captivate. Specifically, putting out a social media challenge. Now, you've seen the front end of a challenge, but behind the scenes and how it actually works is what really creates the impact and engagement to not only make it epic, but also to help it go viral. It needs to be transformative. We had a client in the Captivate program who was in the area of confidence. The Captivate program showed them step by step how to do this, and she was able to add over 200 women to her list by launching her first ever social media challenge and grew her Facebook group by nearly 600 additional members in a few short weeks. Well, how would that feel for you? What would that look like for you if you could know that I'm just going to put something out there and, really attract the right people and get more people on my list and get more people on my group and get hundreds and hundreds and possibly even thousands of people to know about me, all while serving them from a passionate and clear place. That would be amazing for me. That for me was a huge shift as well, that I was able to host a social media challenge and really connect with my audience, right? Really be able to give them lots of great information, lots of transformation, but still leave them wanting more. So I know what you're thinking. I know you may be thinking, will this work for me? Because I don't have a huge audience. I don't have a lot of people on Facebook. Well, the answer is yes, it will still work for you. Which brings us to the second thing you need to do. Amplify your connections. And essentially what that is scaling your business with joint ventures and partnerships. You will create a broad reach without a huge Facebook audience. You will connect with people and leverage their audience to grow your tribe. I love this. I think this is one of the most overlooked things that entrepreneurs do, because we think we have to do it all on our own. We think we have to be, that solopreneur. But the reality is we cannot do it alone. And having these types of relationships and being able to create a joint venture partnership with someone, it will just explode. Because if somebody has an audience already and you just leverage that, now all of their audience now knows about you, and you don't have to go and scrape and scrounge and struggle for clients or put a ton of money into Facebook ads to get people on your list, because you're utilizing somebody else's audience. So this also includes things like guest posting and interviews. Now, there is a wrong way to do this, and there is a strategic way, and you need to know how to leverage those opportunities for your maximum benefit. Most people don't do this. They get an interview or they get featured and they don't know how to leverage that exposure. Okay, so Samuel, who was another member of Captivate, was able to get fast results, including starting and growing his email list from scratch. He launched and grew his Facebook group from scratch and is hosting his first live training. He was able to successfully run his first mini class and challenge and get over 10 testimonials. He grew his social media following and visibility online all in just 1 month. And it was with the things I'm sharing with you today. And to really just own it. Be super freaking clear about what you do, how you do it, and what you want, and also what your clients want. And go out there and show up, essentially, right? Show up, but show up in a way that's transformational. Show up in a way that's clear so that people are naturally attracted to you. So the final thing I want to talk about with key number 2 is the strategic content solution. Creating captivating and strategic content that takes leads from subscriber to buyer. Some people don't have a problem getting people to opt in. Lots of people can attract subscribers. But how do you actually get those people to become buyers? That's the part a lot of people don't know. To take that next step with you and spread the word about you is completely different than someone opting in and giving you their email address and then unsubscribing a week later. So I'm a content queen, but it's because I put out high quality, valuable content that is effective and transformational. And that's what I want you to do. Many entrepreneurs make the mistake of putting out content for content's sake because they think they have to, because they think they have to go on a live stream, but it's rubbish. It's not good. And that's just not the right way. You will get burnt out and overwhelmed and still see little to no results. So when you're talking about content, it's gotta be good. This is your first line of defense, like we talked about in the challenge. This is the thing that people are gonna see first. So if you're not making that good first impression, what are the chances that they're going to come back? They're probably just gonna jump ship and go to the other thousands of other people who are doing the same thing as you. So your content not only needs to be good, but it needs to be strategic. So I want to talk about just really quickly how you can get some exposure today, and then we'll move on to the third key. So live stream or written content that is shareable, value, and transformational. I want you to put it out there today. Whether you're scared, whether you have doubts, whether you have fears, whether you think, oh, are people even going to care? Are people going to think I'm stupid? I want you to live stream, come from a place of passion, or write a piece of content that is valuable, transformational, and shareable, and put it out there today. We must get over our fears. We must get over those doubts, and the only way to do it is with action. So key number 3 is monetization. Now that we have all these things in place, how do we actually make money from it? That's what we want to know, right? That's what everybody wants to know. So, really, it's going to be about a few things that I'm going to be sharing with you today. Impacting thousands of people with your story, and then leveraging that to make a bigger impact, having a ripple effect of sales, and creating raving fans, okay? So making an impact is huge, because when you can make an impact on people and they start to talk about you, they start to refer you, they start to share the results with people, and they attribute it to you, that's when you know you've made an impact. That's when you know that you're making it, right? So it really is about a lot of sharing your story and captivating people, right? Captivate. That's what this is all about. Captivating people and making a difference in people's lives. The next part of monetization is actually launching your product or service. So just like we talked about in the beginning, lots of people just don't even have a way for people to work with them, or they don't have a work with me page, or maybe they have a work with me page, but no one knows where it is, or no one's ever seen it. But actually launching your product or service in a way that is coming from a place of service, coming from a place of, I have something that can help you and I want you to have it, right? So this doesn't mean doing stuff for free or for cheap, but it really means understanding your worth, understanding the value of your product or service, and letting people know that it exists. Next is to elevate by creating the Raving Fans formula, what I call the Raving Fans formula. Providing an excellent customer experience creates lifetime customers. So just like I was talking about in the beginning, you want to create an experience that's amazing for your clients and customers, so that they keep coming back, so that they keep buying things from you, so that they keep referring you to their friends and their family and other peers. So that is what really creates that impact. It creates those raving fans. It creates the people who are going to buy your products over and over and over again. It is a ripple effect. So with monetization, there's a lot that goes into this, and obviously we don't have time to dive into everything, but I just want you to remember, make an impact. So make this transformational, whatever you're offering, transformational to the people that you're offering it to. Make sure that you're actually launching your product or service, that people know about it, that you're coming from a place of service, that you can articulate the value of whatever it is that you have, and that you're putting it in front of the right people. And then finally, create raving fans by creating an amazing and excellent customer experience, even if they're not your customers yet, even if they're just people that are maybe in your Facebook group or followers on social media. How can you create an experience for them that they absolutely fall in love with you, That is what Captivate is all about. It is about having those people fall in love with you so that they can spread the word for you. Because like I mentioned earlier, we can't do this ourselves. We think we can, but we absolutely can't do it ourselves. And having other people rave about you and having other people talk about what you do in a way that's passionate, it's just going to grow your reach further and wider without you having to do more work. And I am all about you not having to do more work. All right, so moving right along, I want to talk about what it took for me to get from 0 to 1.5 million. People ask me all the time, how did you do it? How did you do it so fast? In retrospect, it does seem fast. When I was going through it, it didn't really seem that fast, right? I just want to let you guys know, though, as you're doing this, like, realize, have perspective on how far you've come. It's one of the things I do with my clients, is really having them share their wins and their declarations. Making a declaration every day, setting an intention, sharing every win that they have, whether it's big, small, or gigantic, and really understanding and celebrating where they're coming from. So what was my journey from 0 to 1.5 million? Number one was key number one. I got crystal clear clarity. I knew exactly what I was doing, exactly who I was doing it for, and I became obsessed with mindset. Mindset is the key. It's key 0, right? Because we talked about that first. But I became obsessed with changing my beliefs, with changing my mindset around money, with opening myself up to wealth, and got crystal clear on how I was going to make those things happen. The next thing I did was connected with influencers and became a star student. This is one of my favorite secrets, right? How do you connect with influencers? How do you connect with those people you admire, those mentors? All of my mentors have become friends. All of my mentors are people that admire my work, that always talk about me to other influencers. So I connected with them by becoming the star student, which means I invested in them. I invested in their programs, or invested in their events, or invested in working with them one-on-one so that I could be close to them. And what I did was I showed up and I got results. When you can show up and get results, people will notice you. And this goes for any course or anything that you take. So if you want to take a course from someone and you just want to buy the course and, let it sit on your virtual shelf like you do with all the others, so be it. But if you want to really connect with that person, you want to show up, get results from the work that they're teaching you, and shine as a star student. They will recognize you. They may even talk about you in a case study or on their website or in one of their emails. So for me, this was definitely one of the things that I did that really put me in connection with the people that I wanted to be with, the people that I wanted to be around, the people that I wanted to be associated with. I also exploited my exposure with epic and strategic content, which we talked about before. Content that was so good that, for my opt-in, I would have testimonials for my opt-in. People saying, I got more out of your opt-in than I did out of a $2,000 course that I just paid for. And a $2,000 course, no less, came from somebody who was a quote-unquote guru in, the marketing space. So creating that strategic content and putting it out there in a way that made sense for my people, that took them to the next steps, exploded my exposure as well. Because not only were they doing it, they were talking about it, they were sharing it, and I got it out there. I created captivating offers that my audience could not refuse. So if there's one thing that I can stand by and know that I am really fucking good at, it is creating captivating offers for my audience, okay? Creating something that they just can't say no to. I eliminated unnecessary tasks and focus. So this is really, really hard for a lot of us entrepreneurs. It's hard for us to let go. It's hard for us to know that we don't have to do everything. One of my coaches said to me, the thing has to be done, but it doesn't need to be done by you. And she is so right, and it is so true. So by eliminating unnecessary tasks and focusing on what I really needed to do to move my business forward, that's what made all the difference in my business. That's what allowed me to get creative. It allowed me to create amazing content. It allowed me to really focus on my strengths and the things that I was good at, and I outsourced the rest. All right, so I want to give you a quick recap and ask you a question. So the first thing you need to do to focus on to make any of this work, remember, it's mindset. Get obsessed with it. right? The three things you need to focus on in your business to make the most out of what you're doing is clarity, exposure, and monetization. Absolute crystal clear clarity, getting yourself out in front of people, and then making money off of that exposure. I also talked about how I went from 0 to 7 figures and how you can break through any self-imposed income caps as well. So out of those 3 keys, I want you to think about what piece is missing or out of place in your business today and what you are committed to working on most when you leave here today. Is it clarity? Is it the exposure? Or is it the monetization? And, while all these 3 are important, I really do feel like you need to really focus on the one that you need most now, and then you can move on to the next one. So I'm not telling you do all of these things today, right? They all need to be done. But which one do you need help with most? Guaranteed it's not all 3, which is a really good thing for you. It's usually just one of the 3 or maybe even 2 of the 3. So figure out which one is the missing piece and focus on that. So you heard me talk about the Captivate program, and so many people have questions about it. I talked a lot about the strategic steps that you can take, but there's one thing I want you to know above all of this. You can do this. I know you can do this because I've done it, right? So I want you to think about why you even showed up here today. You did the challenge, you downloaded the guide, something is calling you here today. So why did you show up? I also want you to think about that it really just makes sense to focus on the right things so that you can have more time and freedom. And that's what I want to share with you. So you may be thinking to yourself, I'm doing this for myself today. This makes sense. Perhaps you're thinking, I wasn't planning on doing anything different today, but now I might, right? So what did you show up here for today? So what you've seen with the guide, with the challenge, with today's presentation is just the tip of the iceberg. And I'm sure many of you have seen this imagery before, but it just is the perfect way to describe what's going on and what you're able to see from just the outside, from just free content, from just what I've been putting out there. So obviously there is only so much that I can share with you in a single presentation. Knowledge is only the first step, and Captivate contains so much more because it focuses only on the things that you need to actually do and when you need to do them. We focus on action, accountability, and implementation because for most of us, we need support in this process. Now, obviously in our short time together, I'm able to just give you a part of the picture. What we've covered so far is about 10% of the potential results. Knowing what to do isn't the problem. We almost always know what we should do. It's actually doing what we know we should do that makes the difference. And that's where your process starts. That is where the implementation plan comes into place. So I want you to think about what your next steps are. What are you going to do with the information that you just learned? Every decision you make should support the bigger vision. And I'm not sure about you, but I want my transitions fast. I don't want to wait to figure it out on my own. So I want you to go to jenscalia.com/captivate or just click on the button that's below this video. And you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to dive into a little bit what's included, but just want to give you a breakdown of what happens when you captivate. So number one, you're going to be in love with your business. Other people will fall in love with your business too and beg to buy from you. How amazing would it be? Here's a visual that I give to many of my clients, and they love it. Just imagine someone running at you with their credit card and saying, how do I pay you? How amazing would that be? So you don't have to struggle. You don't have to hustle. You don't have to go out there and get clients every month and pull them in and beg them to work with you. They're begging to work with you, right? You'll never have to worry about where your next paycheck is coming from. You'll have a repeatable, sustainable system in your business. You will have raving fans, your true tribe, and repeat customers. Again, like I said, this is the key. Your lifetime value of your customer is key. Because instead of having to go and struggle and get new clients over and over, you can just sell the same thing to the same people, right? Captivate will shortcut your business growth and give you more time, freedom, and money. So I want you to close your eyes. And again, not sure why you showed up here today. It might be because you got so much out of the challenge that you wanted to see what's next. Maybe you know things need to change and you're just not quite sure how. Maybe you want to see how this all works so you can try to put the pieces together yourself. Okay? Here's how I know. So in order to create long-lasting, sustainable business with repeat buyers, we need to get clarity and focus. We need a step-by-step system that shows us how to do it and when. And if you believe all these things and you want support, if you want accountability and you want a business-changing experience that will transform everything you think you know about running an online business, I want you to join us in Captivate. Okay, so we're going to go over that in just a minute. But again, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think about what your income was last year. What was it? Total income. And I want you to think about what you want it to be. What would it actually be for you to experience and have everything that you desire and everything that you want? And I'm going to talk a little bit about my story as well. And how, I went from making $35,000 living in my parents' house after my divorce. And it was a struggle, right? It was a struggle for me. And how quickly I've changed it is just amazing. It's life-changing, and it's what I'm sharing with you today. So you have a choice. You absolutely have a choice. You can go the slow route. You can take what I've shared with you today, and you can try to figure it out yourself, right? You can see that really all you need is 2 or 3 clients and you get what you want, right? But how do you actually make that happen? How do you have that consistently? The other part of it is, do you want to go fast, right? So look at the girl with the green car. She's going fast, right? So which one is it? Do you want to take the slow route, or do you want to jump in front of the line at Disneyland? You want the fast pass. You want the fast pass. I want you to join us in Captivate. So I'm going to go over to talk about what exactly is included in the program in just a second. But just overall, you're going to get 8 mind-blowing lessons that will give you a customized 6-figure approach to your business from the inside out. Captivate includes mindset, which I'll talk about in a second. This is really the difference that creates the results with my clients, because I've taken other programs and it hasn't worked. This is the part that separates this program from every other program out there. Every other program that is teaching you how to grow a business is not teaching you who you have to be in order to grow that business. We have 8 live, no questions left unanswered Q&A calls with me for clarification and on-the-spot coaching. You get a 6-figure mindset and marketing strategies that actually work, a Facebook community to keep you accountable and focused, and weekly dares to foster consistency and implementation. So I love this. This is another thing, creating an experience. This is not just a course. It is an experience where you're going to have a daily thing to do and to commit to in order to make this happen. So my guarantee here is, I never want unearned money. So if by the end of week 4, you're not getting what you want, you let us know, show us that you did the work, and we'll refund you every penny. So you basically can take this course pretty much halfway through, and if you don't like it, and we see that you've at least made an effort to put in the work, you can ask for a refund. So there really is no risk. And as you can see, all you really need is 2 or 3 new clients to recoup your investments. One of the girls just in the challenge group had a $1,700 day. Imagine if the results came for you that fast. That is what's possible with Captivate. So also, your early mover bonus. You want to save $500? You can do so for the next 72 hours only. And you'll also get an email with this information. But you will be able to save that $500 and get started with us today for just $249, which is nothing. Like I said, if you're working with people, if you're coaching, if you're consulting, 1 client and you've more than recouped your investment. So I want to talk about some results that people got from Captivate. And then I'll talk about exactly what's in Captivate if you haven't already checked it out and looked through the modules. So Kaylin was in one of the very first classes of Captivate, and she was able to make $9,000 with her first group program. And mind you, this was in an 8-week period. So what would an extra $9,000 look like for you or feel like for you to have over the next 2 months? She was having, the support from me, and my eyes on her business was amazing. She says moving through the program brought me so many insights and helped me put together my first group coaching program, which I launched during our time together. Having her support and eyes on my business was amazing, and I made over $9,000 from the launch of my group program based on her format and suggestions. Kate doubled, then tripled her income in the 8-week period. She learned to show up even more as a leader and a giver, and in turn, that was multiplied back to her. She says that the first month, I almost doubled my income since I scaled back my therapy practice to focus on my coaching business. I was only bringing in about 5 to 6K per month. Our first month together, I brought in just under 10K. Again, what would 10K look like for you? From that moment I had my first call, I started to believe in myself even more. I have pretty high confidence after working with it years ago, but I was being a little timid in my discovery calls. I knew I could change people's lives, but would hold back in fear and sound cocky. I really learned how to sell myself confidently and still have integrity with who I am. I was able to show up as a leader and giver, and in turn, that was multiplied back to me. Month 1 with Jen, I doubled my income. Month 2, I almost tripled my income. I had so many ideas for so long, and with Jen's support, all of these ideas came together, and I launched a program and felt so aligned to my business and how I want to serve women. I can't recommend Jen enough. She is a gem. Are you like Kate? Are you someone that maybe is holding back a little bit? You know you have something amazing to offer, but you just don't know how to get it out there. How would it feel for you to double, then triple your income over the next 8 weeks? Charisse had her best month ever. And what I want you to know is that these are people that are not business coaches. We have this false sense that somebody has to be a business coach in order to make money. Charisse is a stylist. She had her best month ever in the first 2 weeks. She says it was the best move I could have made for my business. Upscale totally changed my business for the better. I learned strategies and tips that helped me reach my best month ever in just the first 2 weeks of the program. It was the best move I could ever make for my business. I am a true Blue Jen fan. That's Charisse. Kim landed her first client and boosted her open rates. So maybe if you're just started and you're not sure how to get those clients, she really was able to do that, able to boost her open rates to 24%, able to get more visible and get her first clients. I can tell you that there is testimonial after testimonial, proof after proof, and I can show you that, and you'll see that in the sales page, that this program gets results. It gets results and it gets them fast. And the reason why, like I mentioned, is because you are working on the mindset. You're working on the thing that actually means something. So again, really quickly, I want to go over the lessons and what you're actually going to learn. And if you want to take me up on that $500 offer, you need to go to the button below and you will get that offer, but it's just for a few days. Lesson 1 is about mindset and leadership. This is where it all starts. This is the key. This is the thing that most business programs leave out. And this is why, for most business programs, people don't get results. This is why, if you've been taking courses and programs and you have not seen a result, because you're missing this part. We dive deep into what you're here for, what you stand for, your big vision, how to cultivate a 6-figure mindset, and committing to that new reality. In lesson 2, we talk about the big picture process, talking about really, understanding what our market wants, what they need, who we are, what our strengths are, clarity on what your market wants, how to survey them in a way that's new and exciting, how to zone in on your zone of genius so that you're only working on things that are giving you strength and energy. Your unique business model and the feel-good philosophy. Another one of the biggest pieces that I feel will transition and shift you so much is working in the correct business model and only doing things that feel good for you. Maintaining your energetic hustle without burnout. I see so many entrepreneurs burn out and burn out fast, and it's because they're working on the wrong things in their business. Captivate shows you how to do all of those things or only the things that you need to be doing. Lesson 3 is about profit and positioning, how to position yourself as an authority and become the expert that people seek. How to do exclusivity marketing so that you're not marketing to everyone for everything. How to price in a way that feels good. How to price your products and services. How to actually make money. We talk about this in week 3 because I know that some of you can't wait 8 weeks to start making money. So we talk about the hidden money method and explore ways in which you can create income right away. Lesson 4 is all about the simple social influence system, how you can create a status online so that people see you as the expert, how to attract and magnetize your true tribe, how to list build without breaking the bank, and how to leverage your story with authentic storytelling so that people are magnetized and captivated by you. Finally, we talk about how to be everywhere with impactful posts. In lesson 5 is the strategic content solution. We're talking about sales funnels, lead magnets, content marketing, your client journey, and how to connect that content with leadership and how to use that content strategically so that you can make money in your business fast and not in a sleazy way. In lesson 6, it's all about the audience amplification process, which is what we were just talking about. Social engagement through challenges, leveraging other people's audiences through guest posting and interviews, and joint venture partnerships. Lesson 7 is all about launching and making your offer with the magnetic offer method. How to sell without being sleazy. How to put yourself in a different zone and believe in yourself and what you're offering so that people instantly want to buy it, so that people are running to you with their credit cards. We talk about the art of the ask, the specific method to approaching your sales calls and webinars that creates relationships and sales. How to convert leads into buyers on autopilot. How to leverage your income for maximum impact, and a promo schedule to maximize your profit on what you may already be doing. And finally, in lesson 8, we talk about how to elevate your impact and create raving fans with a raving fans formula, how to become an influencer, how to create an amazing customer experience and get results, how to choose your mega platform. So I'm talking beyond Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, but thinking bigger, a book, a podcast, getting on stages, limitless legacy building, influencing with integrity. So in a nutshell, I'm going to show you exactly what to do step by step to captivate your audience, create raving fans, and make more sales. So if you're ready to join us, click on the button below, and here's what will happen. You'll get brought to a checkout page, and you can save $500, but like I said, that's only for a few days. So if you want that, jump on that now. You can also take advantage of the 6-part payment plan for just $249. So more success stories. Allie doubled her email list in 2 months that she was in Captivate. Jennifer G tripled her monthly income in 8 weeks. Chandra was able to get over 15 press and speaking opportunities in less than 2 months, all using the strategies I teach in Captivate. So here's the deal. I know that you don't want to wait. I know that you want to go fast. I know that you may try to do this on your own. I know, because I tried the same thing. But what we often see is just a fraction of what really is happening. And the reality is that this isn't for everyone. I'm not looking for people who want a quick fix, who want to blame everyone else for why they haven't gotten results. I'm looking for people who know they're ready to make a big impact and make changes in their business and ultimately their life. Your next option could be just to do nothing. There are plenty of people in the world, and probably some people on this call, who are addicted to learning, but not actually implementing what they learn. That way, they can stick to their old story of I've tried everything and nothing works for me, and stay in their comfort zone. Isn't it ironic that not getting what you want in life can be such a comfortable place for so many people? Or you can apply the system and Captivate right now, today. And we start right away. You will get immediate access to the Facebook group, Module 1, and your bonuses as soon as you register. You will get weekly access to me through our live Q&A calls. And like I said, this is really me having my eyes on your business. You get access to someone who is able to do it, who's been through it, who understands where you are at. So I did promise you that I was going to give you something special if you stayed with me until the end. And I want to congratulate those of you who took the leap and purchased. But if you haven't, or if you're not there yet and you need a little bit more time, check out this free downloadable cheat sheet for running your own successful, epic, and engaged social media challenge. It's at jenscalia.com/social CS. jenscalia.com/social CS and download your free cheat sheet for running your own successful, epic, and engaged social media challenge. One of the number one strategies I use to get myself from 0 to over 7 figures. Okay. So, we are coming up to the end. I promise that I respect your time. And, I just want to wrap up here with you guys and just share a little story with you. Okay. Last year, I made more money than I've ever made. And it wasn't a $35,000 a year. It wasn't even a $100,000 a year. I made almost $1 million in revenue. Just a few short years ago, that was not true. I'm no longer living with my parents. I'm actually looking to buy a $500,000 home right now. We just put in an offer. I'm driving my dream car. I'm an amazing role model for that little boy I talked about in the first slides. And I'm in love. And literally everything in my life is amazing. And it's because of the things I share with you in Captivate. Now I want you to leave with this. No matter who you are, where you are, or how bad you think the situation is right now, you have the power to change. Now it's time for you to decide if you will. So if you have any questions, you can just click on the button below and send me a message. Any concerns, anything you're unsure of, not sure if this is right for you, click below to chat with me and I'll be sure to answer your questions. Other than that, I hope to see you in the program and you'll be hearing from me a lot more. I really hope that you got a lot out of the guide, out of the challenge, and out of this workshop, and you know what your next steps are. So I will talk to you soon, hopefully, and have an amazing day.